Okay, good evening everybody, and welcome to another Cycling Time Trials Evening 10 on the V718 South Cave in Hull. It's the UK's fastest 10-mile time trial course, and the virtual version, I'll get my words out, the virtual version is usually a battle between Rob Stone, if he's turning up, and a couple of other riders who come along and challenge him. But Rob's the proverbial winner of this event when he takes part. However, we're looking like we're getting riders lining up now tonight, so hopefully we'll have a few challenges. It's nice to see the Team 3R people in the jerseys. Welcome, Paul. Welcome, Eric Bonner. Not sure how many we're going to have on the line, but it's filling up nicely, which is always a good sign. Now the riders will go off in 10-second intervals. I'm not sure if I'm first or second rider off. I'm one of the two. So I'm not actually riding the event, but I do have to get on the bike and turn the pedals. And from there on in, I will try and follow every rider off the start line. So you'll have to bear with me while I climb on and off the bike at the start of the event, but thereafter I'll cover the other riders. Now I'll get every rider finishing, and I usually announce the finishing time and then we check it live while we're still on air with the RGT DB website. So if you finished the race, don't log out, stay with us, and as I say, we'll pull the live results up and confirm what I give, which is not the official result in the event. I would have liked to have taken part tonight, but I'm just not yet ready. I think I'm still coming back from a bad bout of flu, so I'm getting there. Had a good weekend, joined Lou Rix's rides, which were really enjoyable, and I'm starting to feel a little bit of fitness coming back, so shouldn't be too long. And I've some more news to give you, which I'll waffle on about during the event. Team 3R are quite active in trying to promote on RGT, and although we're only a small team presence at the moment, I am putting on 3 or 4 events a week, so I'm quite busy promoting Team 3R on RGT. Okay, I'll hop on the bike and we'll start up the engines. There we go, that's me away. Okay, that's enough. I can now get the next rider on the road. There's Mr. Glover going off. Now, as I say, the riders go off in 10-second intervals, so I should be able to tab down and get each rider going off the line. There's Mr. Glover catching me. I pulled over to the side of the road. But sometimes you get a gap. There's Eric Bonner going off. So he's on his way. And then Mr. Samut putting in a nice starting pace. Mr. Pritchard on his way. I don't know her name, but Miss Jessup. Mr. Kemp. A lot of these riders are regulars, coming week in, week out, like Mr. Little, Mr. Kemp. They're here every week taking part in this event, which is what you should be doing. You should be supporting it. And this is one of my teammates, Paul Douglas. I think Paul's coming back from injury as well, so it's nice to see him on this event. Let's hope he has a good ride. And there's Mr. Miller from BRT giving us a wave, so he's obviously listening. Mr. Coker. As I say, we'll catch up with the riders on the road, so don't worry that we're missing out. We're not. Now, Lobeck is one of the contenders for a top spot. He always does a good ride. He's wearing the Team 3R kit. I wonder if he wants to join the team for real, because we need. Well, I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Let's get the riders off, and then I'll tell you the exciting news that's happening. So we got both Smiths going off. Looking good. Mr. Garwood. Mr. Williamson. I say both Smiths. Mr. Smith hasn't gone off yet, Angus, but he will be. I think he's going off next. Maybe. There we go. There's Angus. It's nice to see couples riding the same events together. I really enjoy that. Mr. Mant. Mr. Howcroft. And last man off looks to be Rob Stone. Well, I think he's last man off. Howcroft. And here's Rob Stone. Now, I can state without a shadow of a doubt that this is the event winner. There's only a few riders capable of getting close to him tonight, and I don't think they'll get close enough. Rob will very quickly work his way through the field. But before he does so, we're going to go back to the front. He's just passing me now, because don't forget, I don't take part in the event. I just pull over to the side of the road. Now, Mr. Glover always puts in a good ride, and he's always first or second man off, or he seems to be anyway, week in, week out. He's one of the first people on the line along with me. So he usually holds the front position for quite a while. Pretty close up until the end. We've got, let's see who's chasing him. And you see Samut can't even see him in the distance. So there's a good almost 400 metre difference between the two riders here. Then you've got Pritchard, who can see Samut ahead and may close the gap. He's 120 metres behind at the moment. And Eric, he's a further 66 metres behind. Mr. Little. So we get the chance to work his way up and down the field a couple of times because of the length of the event. It's only a short event, 30 minutes usually maximum, depending on the number of riders we get. I suspect we'll be done in a little over 30 minutes tonight. But that does allow me, there's Mr. Miller catching Jessup. It does allow me to flick through the field, 2 or 3 times at least, to check up on what the riders are doing. You can see Miller's having a pretty good ride. He's already caught Jessup, and now he's going to catch Kemp and go flying on past. His power's quite, look at his power. His power's quite good. He's putting out 4 watt kilos. So Miller will be up there with the leaders at the end of this race. So I'll peg him as a contender at the moment, because he will be probably a contender for top 3. Anyway, let's check on what's happening behind him. We've got Kickr trying to close the gap on Jessup. It's always good when you've got riders in front of you that you can see, because it acts like a virtual carrot to pull you along. Drafting is allowed in the virtual world. It's not allowed in the real world. You'd be penalised for drafting another rider. But drafting is actually turned off for these events in RGT for the time trials. So there's no benefit in drafting. You just, other than the visual clue that you're getting. I explain that every week, but it's always worth repeating for new viewers. Here's Paul. Paul's a regular on my group rides, well, on just about everybody's group rides. He supports Lou's rides, he supports my rides. A really nice fella. Hope he has a good ride tonight. And as I say, Lobecki, you can see catching him. Lobecki is definitely one of the riders I would peg for a top 3 place. Maybe, I don't know. He's got a few other good riders here alongside him tonight, so we'll see what happens. And what Paul should do here is try and keep him in sight. Just try and use Lobecki as like a visual carrot to pull him along for as long as he can. I mean, it's hard trying. You obviously can't maintain the speed of somebody going faster than you, but you can use it as a visual clue or carrot to pull you along. Garwood's on a good ride. He's always a contender. So this could be another one of the top 3 podium spots going to Mr. Garwood. But we don't know. I'll give a better call out when we get further into the ride. But looking at Garwood, he's really, really going here and could even be challenging for the lead, because he's putting out 5 watt kilos here, which is pretty significant. So, and you can see him siphoning his way through the field. As we get a little bit further back, we're going to check up on Rob Stone and see whether he's doing the same, whether he's siphoning his way through the field. I use that word siphoning because that's what it feels like. They just cut the way through the field so quickly and so smoothly. Angus is always one to put in a good ride, and look at what kilos he's putting out. Just putting a dig there. And as he goes past O'Connor, I suspect yes, he is. There you go. His numbers are going red. So as he's catching him, you see his numbers go red, and he just puts in that extra effort to get round. And then the extra effort has to continue because he wants to leave him. Although drafting isn't working in RGT, you don't want a man on your wheel. You want to ride clear of them. Make sure you've left them behind. That's good for morale. So he's left O'Connor behind. And here's Rob Stone. And Rob Stone already, don't forget, Rob started last. And what is he now? Well, let's count back. So you can see Rob's putting in 4 watt kilos, give or take, a point or two. So he's working his way through the field. We've got 1 rider behind him, 2 riders behind, 3 riders, and me. So Rob's actually he's caught 3 riders in this short space of time already. Now we'll work his way back to the front, but from the back this time rather than going straight up to the front. So Angus is on a really good ride here. And Paul is managing to hang on and even catch riders in front of him. Williamson is putting out some good numbers as well. This is a new rider on me, I think. I don't recall Whale, although the E62 rings a bell. So forgive me if you've been here before, sir, but I don't recall. And these two are here on a regular basis. And just look at Lorbecky. I said I thought he'd be a top three, and he probably will. He's putting in a storming ride here. He always does, though. He's a class rider. And Garwood, what can you say? He's always there or thereabouts, and he's putting in higher watt kilos than Rob Stone. So this could be close between those two tonight. We'll check up on them as they get closer to the line, but this could be pretty close. The place to check them actually is at the turn. So we'll come back and we'll check Garwood when he gets to the turn. Eric's just approaching it now. And when we say the turn, this is the part of the course where the riders do like a half circle to come around this bend here. And we call it the turn in the time trialing world. And it comes before the halfway point. So the turn isn't at the halfway point, but it's the only hill of significance really on the course. And I say hill, it's not overly steep, but it is noticeable. You do need to up your power when going up it. So Glover's just gone under the yellow banner, which signifies the halfway point. So what we'll try and do is we'll try and get times, and he's still leading. So Glover's still leading by 250 metres. He was 300 metres in front. So he's lost a bit of his lead. I expect them to bring him back slightly. But let's go back down the field and see if we can catch the riders like Garwood. Let's see when Garwood passes the yellow banner, and then we'll get an idea on what kind of time he's on for, as well as whether he's going to take the crown off Rob Stone this week, because I think it's going to be a close one. Let's switch the camera around so that we can actually see him going under the banner, and then we can get a proper time. And look, he's catching Bonner, so he's not hanging about. There he goes. And he should very soon be approaching the halfway banner, just around this bend. Yeah, there you can see it. So 11, it's going to be a short 11 when he gets to the halfway point. So we're looking at a 22-minute ride here, folks. Possibly a long 21, because he could well do the second half of the course faster than the first, if he's got the strength left. So this is going to be an 11:21 or 22. So 11:21 for Garwood. So that's going to give you a clue. What we'll do is we'll catch riders going through the banner. So there's Lorbecky. Now Lorbecky's doing a 12:13 through the banner. So he's significantly, I say significantly, he's a minute slower than Garwood. But I still think he's on for a top three place, possibly. There's Angus. Now here's Rob Stone. So you can see already Rob has picked up. Has he gone past the halfway point? I think he has. I think I've missed him. He's gone past. Rob's actually gone past the halfway point, has he? Yeah. So it's hotting up. Let's go back to the front of the race then and catch up on Glover. And you can see that his lead from 230 has now gone down to 180. So Samut is definitely closing in on him. He's doing a great ride, actually, putting in some good watt kilos, look. 4.4, 4.5. So this is a contender for a podium spot as well. This is a really good ride by Samut. And then Pritchard behind him. Mr. Miller. Mr. Little. I just want to, before I go, I just want to check 5.8. Okay. Just need to make sure that I'm constantly checking the front end of the race so that I don't actually get caught out and miss the riders going under the kilometre banner. I always like to get the riders going under the kilometre banner, then follow them home if at all possible. But obviously I've got to try and cover the whole of the race for everybody. There's Lorbecky and Smith. Angus is doing a really good ride and catching Lorbecky. I mean, look at the difference in what kilos here. That's a superb ride by Angus. So Lorbecky isn't on for a podium spot tonight. And there's Rob. Rob has caught Angus, and Angus isn't hanging about, and Rob's just going past him like, well, you can see for yourself. So this is where the race is really hotting up now, as Rob Stone catches up with Bonner and then moves forward. So you can see Angus is doing the right thing by using Rob Stone as a carrot and trying to get on his wheel. It doesn't make any difference because there's no drafting, but he's using it as a visual pull. He's letting Rob pull him along faster, and that's what you should be doing. That's what you should be doing in real life as well, but obviously you can't get on somebody's wheel, but you can stay about this distance behind them and follow them. And Angus is doing the perfect ride here. This is exactly what you should be doing. Using the rider that's just overtaken you to help you keep a higher pace, a higher cadence. And this is, I'm so impressed with Angus here because he's closing the gap on Rob, which is amazing. Superb ride. Okay, we're going to have to go forward and check on, there's Garwood. And Rob's 300 metres behind Garwood. Now, the question is, Garwood has got 5 kilometres to go. So is Garwood going to be caught by Rob Stone? I think so. I think Rob will pull him in and catch him. There's Mr. Little giving us a wave. So let's check on the riders in front of Garwood. Mr. Miller. For the riders further back at the back of the field, I do apologise. I'm staying near the front because I don't want to miss the race action, which is really hotting up now. I will get back to you as you come in towards the finish. I mean, look, Samut is now caught Glover and he's going past and giving us a wave and going past like he's stood still. I mean, that's just incredible riding. Well done, Samut. I mean, this is outstanding riding. 3.8 kilometres to go, so I'll have to get back to him soon. There's Glover, there's Pritchard and Miller. And then Garwood has got Miller in sight and I think will soon be upon him. 66 metres in behind and closing. So Garwood's going to catch Miller. I don't know whether he'll catch Pritchard. I suspect there might not be enough time for him to catch Pritchard, but we'll have to wait and see. And then you've got Little is being distanced by the two in front. Well, by Garwood in front, not necessarily Miller. But Rob Stone has got them in sight up the road, and that will give him the impetus he needs to try and close the gap. But you can see that Angus is he's dropped back to 40 metres, well, 40 odd metres, but he's maintaining that distance. It's not like going out exponentially. He's really keeping a grip on the distance between him and Rob. And you can see the effort that he's putting in to actually have to do that. This is a superb ride. I think if I was awarding a combativity award tonight, it would go to Angus. Because to do this, it takes something special, folks, to have a much faster rider going past you and then to try and close the gap and get back onto terms with a rider that's past you like that. So impressive. Lorbecky has been well distanced now. So my feeling that he would finish on the podium was unfounded tonight, but he's a class rider, so don't count him out ever. There's Williamson. Howcroft has just gone past Bonner with an amazing turn of speed. There's Bonner and there's Coker. So I have noticed over the weeks, and I hope Eric doesn't mind me saying so, but Eric does tend to struggle in the second half of the ride. Whether he just has to try and adjust his pacing or not, I don't know. But he's not able to get on the wheels of the riders passing him. So we're heading towards the back of the field now. There's my colleague Paul. There's Jessup. And there's Smith, and then I'm right at the back. I will jump on the bike actually very shortly. So 1.6 kilometers to go. So I am actually going to stay now at the front end of the race with Samut. As you can see, he's reaching the red banner, the kite as we call it. And this signifies 1 kilometers to go. And look at him putting in this effort to reach the kite. He's really on a good ride here. With 1 kilometer to go, 22 minutes. So this is going to be a mid 23 minute ride if you can keep this pace going. Possibly even a short, in fact, he's on for a short 23 if he can keep the pace, if he can maintain this pace. So this will be a short 23. Which is a good ride, and in other weeks has actually won the event. The event has been won with short 23s. So this is a good ride. It won't be enough to win tonight. There's too many other riders putting in stronger rides than this, but this is a good ride. This is going to get him up there close to a podium, if not on the podium. So we'll see. I still maintain he's going to do, he's going to do a mid 23 was what I initially said, and that's going to prove correct, I think. And I'll try and keep an eye on the riders behind him so that we can follow the riders following. Currently 290 meters behind, so no danger. I should be able to tab down to the next rider in time. So here we go, as I say, a mid to long 23, which is a good ride. I call that 23.41. So that's currently leading the table. First man home, 23.41. Mr. Glover's heading for a long 24. First man out the gate, so this is a good ride to finish second. And this will be a 24.42. And then Pritchard could well better that time. Well, in fact, I think he will better that time. I think. Maybe. Ooh, it's going to be tight. Will he beat 42? Ooh, it's going to be tight. Going to be tight. Yes, I think he just might. Just going to get there. Yeah, he is. 24.37. Now this is one of the contenders. This is Garwood, and he may even come in 28 with a long 22. Or is he? No, it's going to be a 23. 23:02 or 03. And Rob Stone, oh, he smashed it. Smashed it. Absolutely killed it. 22:22. Mr. Miller coming in with a 24. 22:22 is currently leading the field, folks. Rob Stone. I mean, that's absolutely smashed it. I don't think anybody was going to get close to that. This is a fantastic ride from Angus, who should be well pleased with a 23:13. Little with a short 25. Thanks for the wave, sir. And Lord Becky, how far has he got to go? He's going to do a long 24. So didn't quite get on the podium like I hoped he would. But as I said earlier, never count him out. And we've got Howcroft closing in on him, but I think he's going to get there before Howcroft. Yes, he is. Although Howcroft is really, really putting in an effort to catch him. So I'm going to have to be quick to get to Howcroft. There's Lobecky. And there's, oh, Howcroft you've just seen going over the line. There's Williamson. It's often difficult when riders are very close together because I have to tab down through the rider list to get to the riders, and there's a little bit of lag there on pressing the button. So 22:22 is winning it at the moment, folks. And to be fair, the fast men have already come home, so that's the winning time. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the RGTDB website and get the results live as soon as we finish the broadcast. I'm going to have to jump on the bike just very, very quickly to make sure I don't get kicked out. So let's just do that. There's Mr. Kemp coming in home. Okay, that stops me getting kicked out of the event. There we go. So 27:12 for Mr. Kemp. The times I call out, folks, are only provisional until we check them, but I'm usually pretty accurate, especially with the winners. So we'll see. I've called it as a 22:22. Let's see how close I am. Whale with a 27:14. Mr. O'Connor is just going to beat that with a long 26. Well done. My colleague Paul. This is interesting because Paul is currently riding stronger than me and I want to ride this event. So this will be my time to beat. And I may even ride the event next week if I'm feeling up to it. And I should be, because I feel like I'm getting something back now. So this is my time to beat next week. Let's see how he does. It'll be a short 28. Well done, Paul. I suspect this is his first 10-mile time trial in a long time, so should be proud of this. 28:15. 28:15 for Paul. So as I say, that's going to be the target for me next week. Now don't forget, folks, just hang around a little bit after the last get my words out, last rider's home, because I'm going to pull up the live results and you'll see them on screen. And here we go, last rider on the road. Well done, ladies. Right, let's pull up the database. Here we go. Now then. There we go, there's the CTT Evening 10, so we can actually check it live. So 22-22. I hate to say I'm right again. Okay, so Rob Stone in first place. Really crushed it tonight. Superb result. Marcus Garwood came in second. A further 40 seconds behind, yes. And Angus Smith, I think that was, for me, that was the ride of the evening. I mean, apart from Rob's obviously winning it, but Angus Smith wins the combativity award tonight because I thought that was a superb ride. Samet put in a fantastic ride as well, and look at his watt kilos, you know. So future podium spot for that lad, no doubt about it. And then I'll let you look down the list at the other finishers. But good, really, really. There we go. We get the rest of them. I'll just scroll to the top again so that you can see the top positions, and then I'll scroll down to the bottom again so that you can see the bottom. There you go. Oh, it's rounded out to 28.16 for Paul Douglas. Well, there you go. Right, and just before, if you're still listening, just before we all go, check out the RGT Cycling Users Facebook page, because I put a notice up there about the upcoming Team 3R race series, which is going to start after the Racecraft series by James Ogilvie, and that finishes on the 19th. So on the 26th, the Wednesday after the Racecraft series finishes, I'm starting a Team 3R sub 3.2 watt kilo race series. It'll be heavily policed, so there'll be no riders coming in over 3.2. Sandbaggers will definitely be eliminated, folks. So it's going to be a fair event, and it's going to run over 10 races. So it's going to be a 10 race series. It's for teams and it's for individuals, and you'll get points each week, and the points will be tallied up for both the teams and the individuals, and then it will be cumulative towards the end of the series. Now, while you're online, Paul, if you can just answer me, I'd like to officially invite you to join Team 3R if you want, if you aren't already subscribed to another team, because it'd be great to have you on board. So there you go. I bet you didn't expect that tonight. Okay, and that's me done, folks. I'm going to say good night. There we go. There's my end screen. So thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, why not? Help me grow the channel. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow night when we've got the Team 3R group ride. I can't remember where we are tomorrow. I think we're on the relatively new Belgium course tomorrow night. Gironde, that's the one. We're on the Gironde course, so it's going to be tough. But we've got bots. I've programmed bots in to the ride, so there's a pace for everybody. And the bots operate from 1 watt kilo all the way up to 4.5 watt kilo. So there's a pace absolutely for everybody. And no doubt our group will be rolling around at somewhere around 2.5 tomorrow. So thanks again, everybody. Take care. And we'll see you in the next one.